This is funny. Supreme Court accidentally posts what appears to be a draft of Idaho abortion decision.
Reports that the court accidentally posted a document on its website related to its Idaho abortion decision. Now, it's important. We do not know whether it's a draft, the actual decision, or neither, but it appears to show the justices are poised to allow abortions in medical emergencies in Idaho. But again, the court has not yet rendered its decision officially. NBC's Yamiche Sindor is reporting on this for us. I'm also joined by Paul Butler and legal professor Mary Ziegler. Yamiche, what more do we know?
Well, Chris, you said it. We are still sort of waiting to see exactly what's going to happen with this decision officially. But Bloomberg Law is reporting the U.S. Supreme Court is poised to allow abortions in medical emergencies in Idaho. Of course, this was a big case that we were watching. This is, of course, according to a copy of the opinion that was posted briefly on the court's website. Now, that being said, NBC News reached out to the Supreme Court. We were told that a decision has not yet been rendered by the court. It was obtained by Bloomberg Law, which said it was temporarily posted in error by the court. We do not know if this is a draft decision, the actual decision, or neither. NBC was also told the court's publications unit inadvertently and briefly uploaded a document to the court's website. That opinion, though, they were told has not been issued, and it will be issued in due course. So the Supreme Court is telling us there will be an issue in due course. That said, Bloomberg is reporting the decision would reinstate a lower court order that had ensured hospitals in the state could perform emergency abortions to protect the health of the mother. That's the big difference, because the issue here had been whether or not Idaho's law here was in contradiction to federal law. Idaho's law allows exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother, but the health of the mother, meaning whether or not she was going to be very sick, whether or not she might lose her future fertility, whether or not she might have to undergo a surgery where she might have a hysterectomy and not be able to have other children if she was denied an emergency abortion. So in this case, according to Bloomberg, they're saying that the Supreme Court is siding with the Biden administration, though we are still waiting to see what the official ruling will be. But this is a big case that we have been watching and waiting for. A number of women, of course, in Idaho, especially looking to see whether or not they're going to be able to have access to that emergency care, because the Biden administration is saying right now there are women who might go into an emergency room, need an emergency abortion because they are dealing with complications of pregnancy, and might be denied that because of this near total ban on abortion in Idaho.
Hey there, MSN.
Yeah, ultimately what's happening, what's unfolding is basically here's a senior writer for Slate, Mark Joseph Stern. This inadvertent early release, according to Bloomberg, suggests the Supreme Court will dismiss the EMTALA cases as improvidently granted. Bloomberg says the decision would restore the district...
incredibly...
Sorry. The Supreme Court will dismiss it. Bloomberg says the decision would restore the district court decision, which had protected emergency abortions. If the Supreme Court does dismiss the EMTALA cases, it wouldn't offer a ruling on the merits, but merely allow for more proceedings in the lower courts. Such a move should not be misinterpreted as a decision in favor of patients' rights to undergo emergency abortions. They're passing the buck back down to the lower court system because they're probably worried about, Trump's reelection chances. As you know, the Supreme Court is obviously a political entity and absolutely operates on those boundaries. This is why I suspect that they made the domestic abuser decision as well, where they made a decision that was like pretty soft in terms of the domestic abusers not being able to have weapons. It is because they want to, one, win back a little bit more influence and act like they are an impartial arbiter of justice and that they're seriously litigating these things. And also because they want to, they don't want to look like they don't want to hurt Trump's reelection chances. That's mainly the major reason. They're doing a little bit of PR. They're throwing a little bit of stake in the direction of the Democrats and the liberals. And they're more importantly doing this so that, Trump's reelection chances are not absolutely devastated, because any kind of decision that is anti-abortion, which, by the way, some Republicans in the party still, especially at the state legislature level, are desperately trying to tank the Republican Party as aggressively as possible. It's Game of Thrones over there. But the Supreme Court recognizes that, that's not okay. Alex Jones law. It's Alex Jones level conspiratorial thinking to say that the Supreme Court of the United States has always been a political entity, an instrument detriment of whichever party dominates it in majority. What else is Alex Jones level conspiracy theories in your mind? Like saying things like money in politics obviously sways elections, or that the American government has a bipartisan approach when it comes to funding the military and whatever foreign policy goals that we have. Do you have any other good ones? Classic lol user, by the way, every time. Like you think that is akin to claiming that the statements that I made, the factually accurate statements that I made, instead of addressing the veracity of it, you decided to compare it to like a guy who says school shootings are fake? That's really just cutting edge commentary from my naysayers, man. It's awesome. You sound like Alex Jones, bro. Yes, of course I sound like Alex Jones, because you're a baboon. Like, yeah, you're stupid. Of course, to a stupid person who fancies themselves to be a liberal centrist, yeah, obviously I'm going to sound like I'm conspiratorial. That's not my fault. Read a book. Yeah, I'm just laughing. Lol, I'm laughing. Yeah, it must be a conspiracy that institutional trust in the Supreme Court is at its lowest levels as a direct consequence of the Roe v. Wade decision and many other decisions that came that were like unimaginably undemocratic, with very little justifications, very little legal constitutional justifications for it. Specifically in terms of all of the latest appointees openly lying, that and also all the fucking money that they get that they haven't disclosed. Yeah, it's I must be an Alex Jones level conspiracist for saying that there is very little institutional trust in the Supreme Court. In order for the Supreme Court not to be like dramatically overthrown or whatever, they need to maintain this level of impartiality, and as a consequence of that, they have to make certain decisions. By the way, you know what's really funny about the Alex Jones take? That's not just my approach to it. Here is Agnes Williams, sequencentennial professor of law and politics at Georgetown Law, author of Congress's Constitution, saying this exact same thing. Republicans on the court probably doing their party a solid by not paring back abortion rights 4 months before the general election, while also not enraging their coalition by striking down the Idaho law. Yes, dude, because you are a donkey in your mind, of course it sounds like a conspiracy theory. You are too stupid to recognize and parse through factually accurate statements and then, analysis that comes after solid premises. Yeah, that chatter is hitting the lol. Oh, he's bad faith and lol, cowing, brain dead. He probably doesn't even care about politics at all. Yeah, you really undermine your argument when you yell. What do you mean? How did I undermine the argument? You mean those who write the rules don't follow them? Yeah, Hasan, the Supreme Court justices are all earnest and objective and the Federalist Society doesn't exist. Yeah, wait till you find out about the originalists. Anyway, Supreme Court rejects Perdue Pharma opioid settlement that shielded the Sackler family. Let's get back to
controversial settlement, Jim, that essentially on one hand would have sent billions of dollars to treatment programs and victims of the nation's opioid epidemic, but also it would have shielded the Sackler family from future lawsuits. So what we're learning right now is that the Supreme Court rejected this, and this, Ali Honig, to bring you in, is a win for the Biden administration.
It is, because the Biden administration had challenged this settlement, Pam. So just so people sort of have the context here, Perdue Pharma is the manufacturer of OxyContin, and they've been sued and had legal proceedings brought against them by the United States Justice Department. They also entered into bankruptcy. And as part of a bankruptcy agreement, Perdue Pharma agreed to give up $4.something billion to go to treatment. But they also got a benefit in that agreement, which is that future claims, future lawsuits against them were exterminated, were extinguished in advance. And part of the agreement that the bankruptcy court agreed to is, okay, you're going to give up all this money, but future people cannot sue you for this. And the Biden administration challenged that, and the Supreme Court has now agreed with the Biden administration. The Supreme Court has said you cannot extinguish future lawsuits. And the sort of lineup of justices is really interesting here.
How do you feel about RFK Jr. not being in the debate? Bro, I feel terrible. I wanted him on that debate stage only for the memes and because I think it would be really funny. But unfortunately, he was literally just simply not popular enough. They said that he didn't meet they said that he didn't have enough support, which of course we don't believe. We believe that they're lying. Speaking of RFK Jr. law, I cheated on my wife and drove her to suicide. Did you know that when they found her fingers were stuck inside the rope around her neck? She tried to save herself. My independent policies will create an America of, by, and for the people, not the wealthiest corporations. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, that's like information about the mysterious circumstances in which his wife died. On April 15, 1994, Kennedy married Mary Kathleen Richardson aboard a research vessel in the Hudson River. They had 4 children. On May 12, 2010, Kennedy filed for divorce from Mary. On May 16, 2012, Mary was found dead in a building on the grounds of her home, Bedford, New York. The Westchester County Medical Examiner ruled the death as suicide due to asphyxiation from hanging. Later, it was reported that Mary had seen Kennedy's personal journal from 2001, in which he recorded sexual encounters with 37 different women. The Kennedys and killing women, name a more iconic duo. I'll run away. Yeah. How do you feel about the PSL not making a debate? Dude, stop. Flatty Matty, you're so annoying. You just said this, and the most annoying chatters are going to go crazy. This is like PSL Andes in the chat, like PSL beyond activism. The electoralist PSL Andes in the chat are literally the come to Brazil mentioned chatters in this community, and they never stop. You just did that. You just did that, and now we are going to have all 30 of them constantly be like, but dude, why won't you advocate for PSL? It's coming. It's coming. The onslaught is coming. Pumpkin spice latte. No, man. What the kind of leftist community is this? PSL electoralist, the Socialist Party, advocate for, yeah. See, there you go. There it's starting. Claudia and Karina are really good options. Not gonna lie, it's happening. I don't know how I've avoided the Jill Steiners. Like, I don't have as many Green Party guys in here, but I have a lot of PSL guys in here who will always be like, Gloria Riva, Gloria Riva, Gloria Riva. It is shocking. Timing of this, as everyone is focused on the debate scoop, the Biden administration is expected to soon release 500-pound bombs that were part of a weapon shipment to Israel to put on hold in April over U.S. concerns about Israel Defense Forces military operation in Rafah. Nice. RFK Jr. is doing this instead.
F. Kennedy Jr. here. Over 70% of Americans want a different choice than Presidents Biden or Trump. They're tired of voting for the lesser of two evils. Presidents Trump and Biden colluded with CNN to block me from representing your voice.
Biden and Trump cut a deal on the debates, then the fighting
CNN
started.
Blocked me from representing your voices, but I'm not going to let them silence us. Go to therealdebate.com to watch me answer the same debate questions live.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I've managed to never really hear your thoughts on PSL, just getting annoyed when people spamming it to you. PSL's great. I've had card-carrying PSL members on the stream many, many times over. They're awesome. They are at the forefront of a lot of great activism, especially pro-Palestinian emancipatory movements and anti-war initiatives, anti-imperialist initiatives. They're great. As far as like their electoral chances, they're shot. It's just like, I think PSL Andes do a little bit of the, you know, they'll win if you vote for them type shit when it comes to it. And it's just like, PSL stands for Party for Socialism and Liberation. That's just not how voting, I mean, that is how voting works. No, that's not how it works. I've spoken to my local PSL members and admins, and their take on Palestine is some of the most liberal imperialist shit ever. Maybe they don't speak as PSL as a whole. Wait, really? I've done my job here. Have fun talking about PSL for the rest of the day, brother. I'm gonna ban you from the Discord. Yeah, that's actually kind of shocking because PSL is usually even further left than the DSA across the board on a lot of stuff. Hasan, I'm not exaggerating when I say half of your community is leaning towards voting Kennedy. He's a basic bitch dem, but they want a third party to win for that reason alone. What? What are you saying? No, half of this community is not gonna vote for RFK Jr. What the I have literally never, and I mean never, I've only laughed at people talking about RFK Jr. as an alternative. I've never said anything even remotely positive about him. What are you saying? No, you saw people memeing that they're going to vote for the brainworm candidate or otherwise. This is a certified HasanAbi head classic. Some motherfucker from Canada being like, oh yeah, no, I'm voting for RFK Jr. Or some motherfucker from not America being like, no, I'm definitely voting for RFK Jr. Shut the fuck up. I'm voting for Trump. And then you see that and you go, oh my God, they're doing it. Like, you took it seriously. You won't poll it? No, of course I won't poll it because everyone's going to say RFK Jr. now. And then some rabid hater is gonna clip it and then it's gonna go viral on Twitter and I'm gonna have to deal with the most annoying blue anon Deborahs and Barbaras in perpetuity. I can see articles being written about it even if it reaches like terminal velocity. No shot. We are not polling that. People do not understand that the memes that we make in this community oftentimes are presented to the public as very serious, very real things. Okay? Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, I have advanced hockey. I can see the future, especially when it comes to, avoiding minefields. I'm literally voting for RFK. He's the most anti-capitalist and anti-war nominee available. You can't deny. Listen. That's all I'm going to say. I'm suppressing the vote, just like RFK's voice is being suppressed tonight. I'm suppressing the pro-RFK voices once again. Okay? Hold on. I am from North Africa, and RFK Jr. has my full support. I'm voting for RFK in the Iranian elections. That's how he's going to become president. Okay. Let's get back to this Perdue video. Come on.
Completely cross-ideological both ways. The majority is Justices Gorsuch, Thomas, Alito, Barrett, and Jackson. That's a group you don't see often together. The dissenters are Justices Kavanaugh, the Chief Justice Roberts, along with Sotomayor and Kagan.
That's
so,
fascinating.
Yeah, you're never going to see this alignment
again. You don't see that. Let me just follow up, because for the viewer that might hear, but wait, it's rejecting the settlement that would give billions of dollars to victims of the opioid epidemic and treatment programs. What about that?
Well, so first of all, it sends them essentially back to the drawing board. They're now going to have to try to come up with a different bankruptcy agreement, but the court's judgment is it's unlawful, it's unconstitutional to cut off the rights of people who might sue in the future, but just haven't sued yet. That's really the gist of the decision here.
All right, so a win for the Biden administration, as you just laid out. Ellie Honig, back to you, Jim.
All right, Pamela, Ellie, thank you very much. And Gloria, I mean, this opioid issue it's a massive issue across this country, and it's one that maybe we just don't cover enough. The damage, the
movies have been
wreckage,
made about it,
movies, and so on.
Right. Look, people want the opportunity. Big Pharma is not popular, and people want the opportunity to be able to sue Big Pharma. And the Biden administration said, look, we don't want to cut it off.